And joining us now is Tom Bevan, co-founder and president of Real Clear Politics. Tom, welcome back. Always good to see you. I want to talk about the vaccine mandate, but first, some other big news happening today. A Russian-born lawyer living in the D.C. area was arrested and charged with making 5 counts of false statements to the FBI. This is all part of the Durham investigation. What more can you tell us about this, and how significant is it?
Well, it's very significant. I mean, he was the main analyst collecting all of the information on the Steele for Christopher Steele for the dossier, which ended up being the foundation for the Russia hoax that was launched against President Trump right after he took office. And so the fact that he is now under indictment and under arrest, I think puts the whole Steele dossier in a new light. And as Jonathan Turley said earlier today, this looks like a situation where Danchenko is not the sort of he's useful in the sense of moving up the chain to getting someone who's more significant. And so I think we're just starting to see we will see more from the Durham investigation as this continues.
Yeah, it should be interesting to see what happens with that. Going back to the vaccine mandate, Tom, as we heard from Owen, some law enforcement are saying it's really hurting their force. And we've also heard the same from some business owners. How do you think this could impact employers and the country's economic recovery, if people don't follow the mandate?
Well, I mean, we've already seen pushback on the mandate and locally here in my city of Chicago, among the police force, New York, other places, healthcare workers, it's particularly in a situation where we have rising crime rates around the country. And so I do think this is going to have an economic impact. I mean, I don't think there's any way of getting around the fact. In particular, one of the industries that I heard from today was the trucking industry. Any trucking company that has more than 100 employees now, they're already facing, these large trucking companies are already facing driver shortfalls around the country, big driver shortfalls. And so if they lose even a small percentage of their workforce, decides to quit or go find jobs at smaller firms that are under that 100 employee cap, that is only going to exacerbate the supply chain crisis that's already going on in the country. So there's no question that this is going to have ripple effects throughout the economy that's going to adversely impact growth and recovery.
Yeah, you mentioned that the supply chain and how it could impact it. Interestingly, the White House Deputy Secretary said today at a briefing this afternoon, when asked about it, she said it will not impact the supply chain. I want to get your reaction to that.
Well, I just think that's untrue. I just don't think that's living in sort of a reality-based world. Whenever you have a situation where you're going to have employees that are going to be, whether it's 2% or 5%, whatever, and the administration likes to, they're touting all of these examples of where these mandates have been very effective and they've gotten to 99.5% or 99%. There are some estimates that in the trucking industry, for example, that 25 to 50% of truckers are not vaccinated, and they are not being allowed to be exempt under the remote workforce rule. At least that's my understanding as of right now. So there's just no question that it's going to affect the supply chain. There's no question also that this is going to be challenged in court from numerous companies and also Republican attorney generals from around the country. States will challenge this, and we'll have to see how that plays out as well.
Tom, not a whole lot of time left, probably less than a minute, but I want to switch gears here slightly. I want to talk about election night, a pretty big night for Republicans in Virginia and other states, including in New Jersey, where a truck driver who spent just a little over $150 actually unseated the New Jersey State Senate president. Your thoughts?
Well, there's been a lot of focus on Virginia and on the education issue in particular in that state. But, I think the results are actually worse for Democrats when you look at New Jersey, where there wasn't that education issue roiling the electorate there, and they still saw about a 16-point move across that state away from Democrats, away from President Biden in just 10 months. If that is, in fact, replicated around the country a year from now, it's going to be a disaster for Democrats in the House and the Senate.
All right, Tom, thank you so much. Always great to get your analysis. Tom Bevan, co-founder and president of Real Clear Politics. Thanks again.
Thanks, Tracy.